Okay, and patch day is here. So here is a quick overview of what came out. So first of all, artifacts have been slightly debugged. Now instead of crafting them, you can also summon them. Summoning will happen in the same screen as you summon the skulls, and there will be two types of artifact summons. There will be starlight artifacts and galaxy artifacts. So one of them you will be able to use for banners as per usual, or just as you would use mystical scrolls, whereas the greater type will only summon purple or legendary tier artifacts. And also with artifacts, just like with summons, you can do a single free summon every day. Now, legendary artifacts have been added, and they currently have been added for 8 monster families. So for 5 stars, these include the Fairy Queen, Vampire Hunter, Sylph, and Monkey King, and for 4 stars, Hug, Vagabond, Martial Cat, and Mystic Witch. Each artifact only works on that specific monster, and if you want to upgrade it to the maximum level, you'll need to consume 5 extra legendary artifacts from that monster's family. And to celebrate the release of artifacts, they are also making a banner for all 5 Fairy Queen artifacts. So just like with mystical scrolls, you can summon up to 200 times, and on the 200th summon, you will receive a guaranteed legendary artifact of the banner of your choice. Now, Summoner's Way Part 2 has been expanded, and trust me, the quests, the rewards in here are insane. You will be able to get 4 light and dark legendary scrolls, a bunch of legendary gear such as artifacts, gems, books, and all of that. And the quests are, while they are a bit more difficult, you can complete them before reaching level 70 with any of your summoners. So do not worry, even if you haven't completed the first part, you can still progress and fully complete the second part. Now, Magitech has been expanded from level 6 to level 16. A new function was added, such as the alteration system, which will allow you to reroll stats of stuff like gems, symbols, effect stones, books, and all of that. You can do it once per item. And also at level 12 of Magitech, you will unlock a new recipe for the artifact crafting. Unexpectedly actually, but the balance patch actually came out for us as well. They haven't written all of the details just yet. They were probably on the time crunch, but all of the same buffs that have been adjusted in the Korean server last week were included in today's patch as well. Of course, with the release of the new artifact summoning system, world boss rewards are getting changed. So first of all, the cumulative server damage reward will be changed to silver artifact seals instead of the world boss shop coins. And on top of that, the ranking rewards will change from artifacts to silver artifact seals as well. So if you haven't been doing and progressing on your world boss yet, now is the time to actually really try and push it. And quite a lot of changes are happening to Battlefield. So first of all, the new Howling Cliff mode has been introduced. This one is a little bit different from the other ones because it is now a 6-player map instead of a 10-player map, so matchmaking should technically be a little bit easier. And in here you are basically playing ARAM. If you have played League of Legends, you're trying to destroy the enemy towers and eventually the enemy core, nexus, whatever you want to call it. Once the nexus is destroyed, the game will be won. On top of that, Battlefield will now have 2 modes instead of 1, so there will be a fair sports mode, which is a new mode, and the competitive Battlefield mode, which is the regular Battlefield we've been playing up until now. And if you aren't familiar with the sports mode, it's actually very simple. Essentially, the power and the stats of all monsters in that mode will be adjusted to be sort of equal. It does say summoners, but I haven't noticed too much summoner changes when I tested out in Korea. But yeah, basically how it works is even if you bring unawakened, unskilled, unleveled monsters, those monsters on your team will be leveled up to level 80, max skilled, max awakened, all of that. They will have their own stats, own runes. So even if you don't have any monsters built for Battlefield, you can just bring unawakened level 40, level 50 units and they will be leveled to max for you. Also, it seems like there have been more rules added. So look at this. So summoners of the same class cannot form a party for matchmaking, right? So if you haven't formed a party, you can now include 2 summoners of the same class in one of the 10-player battlefield modes, and you cannot include more than 1 summoner in the 6-player Howling Cliff battlefield mode. This means that if you are something like a Kina, your team will not be able to have another Kina in it. However, if the matchmaking for the battlefield game will last more than 2 minutes, then that requirement will be removed. So I don't know how it is for other servers, but for NA servers, that requirement will never go through, because matchmaking definitely takes longer than 2 minutes pretty much all the time. So yeah, just a little bit of an extra added, and maybe will explain why you are not able to start a game of Battlefield or even party up with some of your guildmates, friends, all of that. And small tweaks to the Brawl mode. Now, once the pre-ban season is here, there will be 2 free pre-bans instead of 1. So with I have some beef with Comtos here. They make their nerfing and buffing strategy by just introducing counter units, and then they add a way to ban those counter units. So yeah, all of the balancing changes that they do pretty much go out of the window, because you can just ban your counters. Lovely. And now for the cosmetic enjoyers, there are 2 new transmogs. You may have already seen them. So the Panda Warriors and the Beast Riders will be getting their transmogs. Look how cute these are. Some changes to the guild siege. So first of all, the top 3 guilds that place rank 1, 2 and 3 in their siege at the end of the season will receive some extra rewards, and these rewards will be given to everyone in that guild, regardless whether you participate or not. So for the rank 1, you will be getting 10,000 crystals and a Grandmaster Guild title above your name. For rank 2, Master Guild and 8,000 crystals, and for third rank, Expert Guild and 6,000 crystals each. Also, some changes to how siege attacks work. So even if you fail attacking a base, you can see that there will be some stats added. So it looks like they have adjusted it based on the feedback in Korea, because these values were much higher previously. So if you do 5% of the total HP damage to a base, to a team, you will have 10% of that total HP reduced for the next person who attacks from your guild. So even if you're someone who's not able to fully beat a defense, you can still help your guild by reducing their HP by 10%, 20%, 30% in total. Now keep in mind, this can be confusing, but you cannot activate more than one of these per fight. This means that in your first fight, even if you do 50% of damage, you will only activate level 1. You cannot skip multiple levels in it. That's what I thought when I went into the Korean update when this was introduced. Now you need 3 attacks in total by inflicting 5, 15 and 25% damage to actually achieve the maximum effect. And now some small but very important changes for guild raid. So first of all, even if you haven't participated in a guild raid, as long as your guild clears all the raids up until level 5, you will actually still get the rewards from it. So if you missed out on a week, do not worry, now you will be receiving those rewards as well. Also, the boss in Tara, so the current guild boss, previously it attacked and focused the highest HP member on your team. Now that is getting changed to the highest defense, so do not get scared if you see it attacking a different target than usually. That's pretty much why it happened. For the next Illusion Garden, the next one starting January 1st of the next year, will be the Light Penguinite, amazing unit, so just a teaser of what's coming next. Now there are a lot of improvements listed under the other tab, however one of them is extremely important, and that is the first one. So if you look at it, improvements will be made so that the summoners or rather the monster's Soul Link skill can be used even if the summoner dies in the following content: Arena, Guild Battle, and World Boss. What this means, I know that the explanation can be a bit confusing, but basically, as you know, when your summoner dies, your monsters on your team will instantly go into full auto mode and will use skills on their cooldown. Now, whichever soul linked unit you had at the moment of death will continue using mana. This means that technically they will be able to use twice as many skills as they would on cooldown, because when using mana regen is essentially twice as fast as the cooldown on that skill. So yeah, if you had a monster selected and only one of the skills is important to you, maybe consider switching to that unit quickly before you see that your summoner dies, because that monster will continue using mana skills instead of skills based on the cooldown. And lastly, of course, the new event, the 14 Days of Lucky Summon event. This is essentially an event where you can select a specific banner you want, and that banner will have a 100% chance to be summoned whenever a Nat 5 procs. It's still only a 1% chance to get a Nat 5 in general using your Mystical Skulls. However, if you see a Nat 5 pop out, that will be the guaranteed Nat 5 that comes out of it. And of course, I saved the best for last. This wasn't mentioned in the patch notes. However, you can now select Paladins and Phoenixes in your 5-star selection ticket. So for all the newer players, for the players who've been missing out on these units, yes, Paladins and Phoenixes are finally available to be selected from your 5-star selection ticket. So yeah, that's about it, and peace.